All right, hello and welcome back to the Shattered Isles. We're gonna delve right in. The Dwarven King Gunrig. He stands upon his wall. It's the last line of defense to save his city of Vaelario. He casts his gaze out across the rest of the city, where this mysterious fog that had rolled in has now dissipated, and in its wake, there's fires burning and smoke billowing up throughout the city. Like the city is in ruins. I mean, not completely, but it's as he watches as it burns. And he turns his back just to see the sun beginning to set over the mountains that he was born and grew up in. He's like, those mountains were always so comforting to him to have behind him, but now they seem more distant than ever. He looks down to see all of the civilians from the city cowering in fear as the orcs have forced them into the final place for them to hold out. He looks back towards the city and sees this battle raging down below him. His royal guard out front, and leading the royal guard is a very unlikely sort. The Rough Riders who came to town with this reputation of being dwarf haters. Now, all of a sudden, they're at the front line. We've got the smooth moving monk Renga, he stays pretty quiet, but he's got this fire in his eyes, this fury, and the king would never want to be caught in a dark alley with him because he's not sure what would happen. And then we've got Varys, the nice, calm, soft-spoken monk or cleric who comes out and sometimes speaks with the voice of a goddess, and he brought this cure to their city that's been haunted by plague for for decades. And so just when the city was starting to hold on to a little bit of hope, the orcs came. Then we have the old peculiar gnome who seems to always be scribbling in this book and looking around and lost in thought and sometimes just plain lost. And then we've got Dandy, this disguised bard who hasn't revealed himself yet to be half orc, but it's always a question whether or not he will. And he's always so quick to play a tune, and he's almost just as fast to stab you in the back. And here they are. The group, the Rough Riders in the front lines. He sees Mim riding around on top of this orc who's got these thorns poking out from his head, and the orc's attacking his brethren. Renga, who's up in the mix, thrown down. Varys, who's trying to keep order with everyone and keep everyone healthy. And then Dandy, who seems to have teamed up with someone on the orc side and is fighting in tandem, going towards the field general, Dutengore. So, into the fray. What's going on? What do you guys want to do?
What's the turn, or do we have turn orders still?
Nah, we're going to do pretty much a more of a free flow right now. But whenever you try to attempt something, like if it's something where you'd get attacked, I'll probably do a number of attacks based on how risky it is. That way you'll have someone to heal.
I was gonna say, didn't I reveal that I was half orc? But then I did, and then I killed the guy who was there.
Yeah. That was you were on the outer wall, so the king wouldn't have been there to see it, and you revealed yourself to be an orc to try and appeal to them, and you got attacked by somebody, and now they're never to be heard from again.
They probably died in the orc attack.
Most definitely.
All right. I'm gonna go for Dutengore here. I don't care for him. And let me see. I'm gonna I'm going to do vicious mockery at him. I'm gonna try to do vicious mockery.
All right,
If
so
that's allowed.
the horde of orcs has parted. Dutengore stands before them. They're about to face off in this duel with Dandy and Tamirnarug, his sister, on one side, Dutengore on the other. And here we're about to hear the most heinous line of insults ever to be cast at a man.
Wow, just talk it out. Damn.
Well,
Wait, don't I? Do
I
you want
guess
me
you
to
have to
roll
roll
anything?
for it. I guess you have to roll for it.
Yeah. Did I click on it? Or no, that's what I do. Well, I have to roll my spell thing.
I know it's a wisdom saving throw. I roll. That's a fail. So let's hear this heinous line of.
I'm like, hey, Dudengore, your dress looks stupid, and you've always smelled like really good. And orcs don't like that because they like to be stinky. You prefer to eat vegetables to meat. I read one time that you considered switching to veganism, and I heard that you don't like to do red meat on weekends to keep your figure. That'll
Okay.
show. Orcs don't like that at all.
roll a d4 for damage. So he kind of looks down at his. He's like, "This isn't a dress. This is a tunic," and he's so thrown off, and he feels like he needs to prove something, and he pulls a piece of meat out of his pack, but then he drops it on the ground before he can eat it.
That's for me.
All right. So while this is happening, Tamira, she's been getting this assault ready, so she goes up. She jumps past you, and while he's distracted, she's going to take a couple swings at him. All right. So she gets a +4. Let's see. All right, so she goes in with her 2 blades, but he's still able to block with his shield. Him coming in. All right, so he's gonna take a couple swings at Tamira. And she gets hit twice. Oof. Brutal. 14, 25. So she took a couple of good hits. All right, what does everybody else want to do? So,
I would like to. I have a cantrip.
all right.
Let me make sure I'm reading this correctly. So it's called creatures. Alrighty. I would like to cast Sacred Flame. He has to have some. Let's see. At this guy right here, does he not have a health bar?
It doesn't have a health bar, but I mean,
Okay. Well,
essentially
sure.
you're taking out. Yeah, you're digging into the front line of these orcs that just seem to just keep coming. So you're casting spells alongside with the royal guard to to hold back the waves that are pouring in.
It says they have to succeed on a dexterity saving throw, or take that 5 radiant damage.
He failed.
Okay, so
in the front line, there's this orc who just suddenly ignites and bursts into flames. He turns around, screams, and runs back in the ranks. There's a couple orcs trying to pat him down as he runs backwards. All right, Rengar and Mim, what about you? What do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna go after this guy.
All right, the one that Mim's
Is
on
that
top
the one
of.
that Mim's riding?
Oh, is he riding that one?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
see him
that
there. I
health
wondered
bar
why
was
that
in.
health bar was there. All right, well, I won't go after that one.
All right, so Rengar goes to help Mim, whose orc is flailing around for the time being, trying to attack all these fellow orcs around him. Rengar's gonna kind of get in there and keep him safe, I think.
I wouldn't come over here if I was you. I'm just gonna start just spraying poison all over the place.
All right, Mim sends a quick signal to Rengar to back away. It's gonna get nasty. Extend your hand towards. Wow. Okay. All right. Constitution saving throw.
I'm holding my hand down by my orc's mouth, so it's like he's a dragon who sprays poison in his mouth.
There's probably a -1 to that. So what am I comparing this to? 8 plus 2 plus what's your spell casting? Is it 4?
Mine's based on my wisdom.
Yeah, it's wisdom or intelligence. I can't remember which.
It's on your spells tab. You should have it there.
Oh no, mine's based on charisma.
Really?
So mine is every 13.
Okay, so he passes on the saving throw. But regardless, the sight of this orc with thorns coming out of its head and seeming to breathe this toxic gas at his fellow orc is certainly gonna to keep them standing back, and they're not gonna be pushing in quite so hard on this side. So, Mim is holding the ranks back pretty strongly down here, and Rengar, you want to roll a couple attacks to see how many of these orcs you're knocking down?
Yeah, just do my dexterity.
Yeah. Just to see kind of how well your performance is. Alright, that one probably won't hit. Alright, that's a hit. Alright, so it's a pretty flashy display of this monk moving throughout these orcs, throwing punches, kicks, everything that he was taught in the monastery to dish out serious damage. And do you want to try and kill one of them to trigger your knuckles?
Yeah.
All right. So he seems to be focusing solely on this one orc who's after this blow seems to be gasping for air, but he's not quite finished off. How do you wanna kill this orc?
but I kick him in the gut, and then as he's bending over, uppercut him in the face.
So with this uppercut, as he blasts him with these brass knuckles made of this special ore, they almost seem to drink in the blood that pours out of his mouth, and he falls back and lands flat on his back. And now I'm just going to roll for the Royal Guard to see how well they hold the line. Pretty well. Okay. All right, we're going to send a counterattack at Rengai. You're going to get a swing at you. It's a hit. All right. Mim, there was an orc that got brave enough to come up against the. Oops. Add a 3 to that. Okay, so we'll go ahead and roll. So, Renga, go ahead and take 4 damage. And Mim, take 8. Oof.
Yeah.
All right, Dandy, you're back up. It's you versus Dutengor.
I can't do the line to tell me how much space there is. Can I get, if I hit there's like a square kind of behind Dutengor but to the side of him. If I hit there, no, the other side. Yeah, there. If I hit there with Shatter, will I be able to hit all 3 of those guys but not my sister?
Yeah, so you can position your spells to not hit your sister, and there's enough orcs that are in pretty close proximity that you'll be able to hit a couple of them. I'm kind of using these other orcs.
I'm getting Dutengor. I have a 60-foot range, but it has a 10-foot radius, is why I was saying that. Because I said to make sure that I hit as many guys as I can without hitting either my sister or Mim is kind of close to the 1.
Yeah, you should be good. You'll be able to hit Dutengor and a couple of orcs. I'm more using these other orcs. I'm not gonna bother with hit points and all that for them. It's more.
No, yeah, I got you. I was just more thinking of range. Like I want to make sure I'm getting it in the right area. Like I can't shoot it right next to my sister.
Yep.
Then she'll get hit too. Like so.
All right.
So
I roll
this is the one
a saving throw.
So it is. They have to do a Constitution saving throw.
That should be good. Against your 14. All right, can you click on the spell so I can read it?
No.
Okay.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I keep trying to explain that I don't have this one in the thing. I can read it to you if you'd like, or send you a screenshot of the thing from the book.
Don't send me a screenshot, please.
All right. It says, a sudden loud ringing noise, painfully intense, erupts from a point of your choice within range. Each creature in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on that point must make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, I got it. Okay, roll your 3d8.
All right.
Jesus. All right, so there's a couple of orcs that have been kind of like cheering on Dutengor as he's getting into this fight, and their heads just immediately explode. Like the blood start pouring out of the ears, their eyes kind of roll back, and they just drop to the ground. And Dutengor, like you see him just like kind of grab his head, and he's trying to shake it off, and he kind of stumbles and puts his shield down, and he comes right back up with his shield ready, and you just see this anger, and you see a little bit of blood pour out of his nose.
Yeah, boy.
All right, so Tamir Narug jumps in as soon as this happens. Oh, damn. Oh, he had disadvantage on his attack. Oh, Whoops.
What happened?
Tamir and the rug took damage that she probably shouldn't have. All right, so she gets a good swing in. So she comes in just whirling blades, and she's able to sneak a hit into his arm. All right, now he comes back. I'll go ahead and just do the disadvantage on these ones. So that's a hit. And all right, that's a miss. All right, so he gets one hit onto Tamir and Rug. Ooh. But she's able to turn it into a glancing blow. All right. So everybody else, we can kind of stick with the order there: Varus, Mim, Renga, just so we have a little bit of control. Not everybody jumps right up at once to tell me what they're doing.
I need to make sure. All right, I am going to cast Aid. Is this the one that gives hit points? Yeah, so I'm going to give Dandy, Tamir Narog, was it 3 creatures, and Mim 5 HP to their max.
Yeah, boy.
And Tim, I can kind of tell you're pretty jacked up, but I can't see. Like there's an orc. Oh, okay, good. That helps. I was gonna say there was an orc over the health bar. I couldn't.
All right, so you go to cast this spell, and there's an orc spellcaster kind of standing in the back, and he sees you interfering with his duel, so he casts a little bit of healing on Dutengore.
Oh no. We gotta get that spellcaster. Dinosaur.
Dino
Where the hell did
DNA.
Life finds a way.
All right, Mim. What's next in this circus act you've got going on over here, holding the front line?
I'm gonna start touching people with my ghost hands.
All right. So it's it's got okay, yeah. So you're as you're flailing around on this dude, you slowly start like reaching out, and the orcs just see this like this almost a spectral hand come piercing through them. Roll damage so I know exactly how much you're. All right, so you see this spectral hand just seems to be coming out from this seemingly like mad gnome that's riding around on this orc, and the hand just pierces through them, and like a couple of the other orcs are like looking at his friends, and you just see the life kind of drain out, and he just kind of slumps, and he like tries to stand, and he just kind of sits there and rocks back, not dead, but just drained. All right, Renga, what's up?
I'm gonna keep holding off this flank, or trying to at least.
All right. Okay.
Oh,
You got a crit there. So
Oh my God.
let's hear a pretty epic. It can be a kill on an orc, or whatever you want it to be. You can just make it acrobatic or add as much style as you want.
So I'm just gonna jump up on like the shoulders of this orc and kind of choke him out with my legs, and then flip him over onto another orc and create a path for the next victims.
Okay, so the orc that you jumped on, you can hear his neck snap, and you do this flip over and hit this other orc, and he kind of stumbles back. It damaged him, but he's still standing pretty strong. It kind of puts you in the middle of stuff, so I'm gonna say you get 2 more attacks coming at you. Oh, that's a miss. They're misses. All right, so roll everyone. Well, not so. Renga and Varys roll perception checks.
Hang on, let me get out of my.
All right, so
Spell
Renga,
page.
while you're on the front line, you catch a glimpse of a group of orcs that are pushing up along the wall behind you. They seem to be trying to get behind the royal guards. They snuck up. They snuck up behind like right against the wall where the archers couldn't see them, and it looks like they might be able to drop in behind. All right.
Am I allowed to do an action in response to, or did I perceive this as well? Or
Yeah.
just
You
Rengar
guys
at
saw
this
it,
point?
but I'll let you do that reaction as we swing back around.
And also, feel free to announce it. You don't have to just keep that light under a bushel.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what my reaction.
You're kind of in the middle of
but-
you're kind of in the middle of combat, so I kind of left it to them because they're closest to the action and they're not riding around on top of orcs, which I imagine would be very distracting for picking up on your surroundings. All right, Mim. So there's a swing at you, but it's I think that's a miss, isn't it? Oh no, that is a hit.
Shit's coming down.
All right, so take another 6 damage, Mim, for being up in the thick of it. All right, Dandy, you're up.
All right. Did you gave my sister her 5 hit points, right?
Yep.
I am I want to play a tune to give somebody some bardic inspiration. Does anyone want it? Preferably one of you that might be able to do something about this line. Like if you might think you might be able to do something about that line back there. But it doesn't really matter. Who wants it? Who wants my inspiration?
You could always give it to your sister.
All right, I'll give my sister this inspiration. You guys snoozed and you losed. So I start playing. I'm gonna be like, what's a good battle song?
Love is a battlefield. Did you already do that one?
That is a pretty good one. But now I'm gonna do.
Da, da,
Little
da,
drummer
da,
boy.
da,
Yeah, I'm gonna do the full. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna do.
Do,
It's just gonna be a on my concertina somehow. I'm gonna try to do I'm gonna try to do Duel of the Fates.
Is that the Peter Griffin version?
How would you shut up? I'm never gonna give you inspiration. So I just roll 1d6 to give her an extra bit for a roll.
Yeah.
All right, my sister has a 2 she can use.
So she's still pretty new to the music, as like her whole past was growing up to be like this assassin sort of thing. But she hears this and she's feeling it. So she kind of goes all out, and she's gonna jump in and go in with both daggers at once. Oh, that was needs a +3. with inspiration. Yeah, that's a hit. All right, so I'm gonna. So she makes this incredible leap going up, and then she comes right down right at the kind of the climax of Duel of Fates, and hits him pretty good.
Now this is pod racing.
Jesus.
Oh, stop.
In character. I said that for some reason.
All right. All right, so Dutengore, he's struggling as he's trying to get Tamira off as she's like digging these blades deeper into his his shoulder, and he's able to shake her off, but he's not able to do any more damage. All right, so let's go back. All right, Varys, what do you want to do about this back line that's coming in here?
I was gonna, because nobody sees him except Renga and I, correct? Pretty much.
Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I guess like like announcements like that, like real quick. But I mean, like, if you want to do like actions and stuff, like if you want to be like they're flanking us, you know what I mean? Like as a quick.
Well, I was gonna cast Thaumaturgy so I could yell at everybody so they'd hear that they were sneaking up on us. But if that's pointless, then I won't do that. All right. So since I see him coming, I'm just gonna turn and I'm gonna.
I mean, that'll be good, so everybody can hear it for sure. Like everyone in battle's gonna be like, "What the hell?"
That's all right, because I don't care about these purple guys.
Dude, we're fighting to save this town so we get people to join our gang. What are you doing?
Oh boy, never mind. I just dudded. I dudded out.
Oh man,
That's a waste.
All
That's
right,
a waste of life.
a critical fail
I yell though
on a guiding bolt.
While I'm doing that, I'm yelling and screaming that there's people coming from
and
the side.
you launch a lightning bolt back towards the dwarves, and they seem kind of shaken and surprised, but you didn't hit any of them, but you certainly threw them off with your spell.
It puttered out halfway down the sky. Yeah, it's
the old bang flag.
All right, Mim, what's next?
I'm gonna have this orc I'm riding. He's gonna wrap his hands in cloth, and then I'm gonna shoot them with firebolt. Hands are on fire as he touches everybody around him.
What?
All right, you want to describe the site, or do you want me to do it?
I think I've pretty well described what's going on. He's the orc with his hands on fire, and he's just grabbing everybody around him.
Save me! All right. Well, okay. Yep, that's what's going down. It's Okay, Renga.
I'm gonna slowly make my way over towards Newton Turd or whatever his name is.
Okay, so you want to push through him. Roll a. Let's do an acrobatics check to see how well you navigate through everybody. All right, so there's quite this distraction in between you, but you're able to kind of duck and juke and kind of slide through some orcs' legs, but you take a couple hits going through. And one of them is a crit.
Oh.
All right. Oh, shit. Wow. Okay, so the orc whose legs you slid through, he turns around and slams you with his mace. And he got you in a big way. I don't know if I should have doubled that 4, but oh well. All right. Dandy.
Who?
Oh, yeah. Mim, I should probably have an attack on you, too. All right, it's a miss. Dandy.
Yes.
Prancing Danny McBride.
Well,
you finish your score on the concertina.
do usings of my cantrips count towards my spells for the day?
No.
No.
You cast them as a
Okay.
bonus action, so you can still even do an action if you cast a cantrip.
Oh, vicious mockery is a cantrip. I didn't realize that. I use it as an action.
Oh.
But
Yeah, you can mock people and then stab them or shatter them.
well, I'm gonna do shatter again because I really like it, and it's my last spell slot. Then I have
Okay.
one last go.
All right.
I'm gonna hit the same area. Well, yeah, I'm at that same area. There's not enough guys behind this left flank or right flank rather, so I'll hit that same spot. And I'm gonna be like, I want to make a pun this time. I'm gonna be like, no, I didn't have one. It wasn't fast enough.
so
I just
you want to
go-
use shatter as like a drop the mic sort of thing? Is that you're going to be
Yeah,
your how you cast
like-
shatter as you drop the mic?
Yeah, it's like, yo, sports, lend me your ears, and then just go like that to do my chatter. That's what I'm gonna do.
All right. Do I roll the save on that?
Yeah, it's the Constitution save.
Jesus. All right.
That
Well,
was not a good one.
it was a phenomenal mic drop, Schnard.
That's 3d8, I believe.
Yeah.
Let me roll. Yep, 3d8 thunder damage. Damn, that's a lot of damage.
Jesus. Okay. Well. All right. I have a stipulation here, so I can let you do the killing blow, but I need it described in such a way that he can still speak.
All right. Well, how about this? My thunder just went crack, and it happened, but it like ruptured his insides. So he's like, ugh, ugh. He's like slumping to the ground, like, oh man, something's broken up in here. This concussive force really did a number on my innards. This seems like some vessels came undone, but I probably have a few minutes before I bleed out inside. That's what happened.
Exactly. Okay. And so as he's keeling over and gripping his insides, he grabs a hold of Tamir Narog's hand, and he says, "I always liked you. Why would you do this to me?" And then he tosses in this orcish word that it's almost like it translates roughly to like impersonator, and so so he's essentially saying like, "You're not an orc. You'll never be an orc." Ugh. And then it seemed like it was just building, and his stomach just explodes, and he crumbles to the ground.
Gross.
So, Tamir Narog, she feels this, like she feels the hand, and she looks at the blood on her hands. She looks at all this orc blood running down her hands, and she looks at like the couple of cuts she has over her body, and she sees like the same like orcish blood, like the orc in her blood, and but then she like looks at her hands and sees these like human hands, and she drops her blades, and she's like, "I'll never pick the blade up again. I'm done being an orc." And then she says, well, she'll probably say this later, but essentially she's not going to go by her orcish name anymore. So from now on, she's just going to be Tamira.
Woo!
All right, so with Dutengore going down, the ranks, the front line really is pulling back. They seem to be in a slow retreat, but it looks like they still want to kind of conquer the city. Tamira's like resting on her knees, just kind of her hands on her head, like trying to make sense of everything that's happened. After Dandy persuaded her to change sides, after Dandy convinced her that she was a disappointment to her father and she poisoned herself with the plague, and after she set up this whole assault in the first place as like this infiltrator for the orcs because of the procedures that her father did on her to make her appear human. So she's having a rough spat a little bit mentally.
That makes sense. That seems like a lot to go through.
All right. This flanking group is still back there. They didn't see Dutengore go down, so they're still pushing in. So, Varys, what do you want to do about these orcs?
You're talking about the...
Correct.
Okay. Well, I'm more concerned with everybody else right now, so I'm going to cast...
And by everybody else, you mean not the royal guards, the dwarves.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Not the... I don't care about... They can die.
Jesus.
Well, would you rather me heal them and let you guys die? Would that be better? You think?
Well, no, obviously not.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I'm going to cast Prayer of Healing. On...
Casting time 10 minutes? I don't know about that.
Yeah, that might have gotten... I don't know what that means. Whatever.
Are you telling me to ignore that? Is that what you're saying?
I might have copied that down wrong. I don't remember. I'm going to heal pretty much everybody that has a health bar low, and then I think, Stefan, do you
You
still
did not
have
copy
5
that down
points?
wrong. This is not going to be an instant sort of heal. This is more of a setup heal. Do you have anything else lined up?
Wait.
It takes 100 rounds.
Yeah.
So it's like over... Oh, well, that's stupid.
I don't think it's 100
Oh,
because
fuck.
each round, what's like 6 seconds?
I was going to say, that's too damn good.
Oh, no,
okay,
you're
well,
right.
then I'm going to run...
Yeah, that's it.
So how would you do that? You'd be like, oh, you gain...
No, it's like a build-in.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're going to go assault these dudes. Okay, guys, boom.
Okay, whatever. I'm not going to do that, then. Let me give that...
You're going to
Really
run
hurt.
into the
Mim is
orcs
hurt.
and give Varys a
Mim
little
a help.
bonk in the head. Oh, Mim a bonk in the head with your mace.
I'm going to...
A healing bonk.
No, I'll just touch him with my hand.
You can do the mace as a bonus action, so you can do both.
Oh, then I will do that then.
All right,
So just roll 2d8.
Yeah. Or you can split it
And then
up
it was a...
between.
Ooh, could I do that? Can I bonk Rengar?
Yeah. All right, so
And I'm
Rengar,
gonna
you
touch-
regain. So what, half of that 2 plus your. What's your modifier? +3. So Mim, you're gonna get 6 hit
I wanted to
points.
say it was 4. But hang on, let me go back here. Yeah, it's 4.
All right, so Mim, you get 7 hit points, and Rengar, you're gonna get 6.
Wait, would it be 5? 5 and 7 is what you're talking about? Are you splitting the...
I was cutting the second one in half. I guess I should do it after the fact. Yeah, we'll go ahead and cut the whole thing in half. So we'll yeah.
Well, the first one,
7 and 5.
Whoever I touch gets the full amount.
Right, and that's Mim.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's something we're working out. So that's the custom mace that he had built of this Sylvius, or that the dwarves were calling it in the city of Rakasha. Essentially, it absorbs and feeds off the magic of everyone whoever's wielding it. So in this case, the mace field off of the curing aspect. So it's essentially a half power heal wounds that he can do twice a day by tapping with his mace. Which we'll see if it's overpowered soon enough. All right.
Well, I think we'll just say that's the second time I've used it today because I can't remember.
All right. Mim. The orcs are starting this retreat. This guy that you're riding, it's got to be getting close. What, Crown of Madness is a minute, so you probably want to wrap up the charm effect.
Yeah, I'll dismount.
Okay.
I fall on my face.
Okay. You want to do anything as you're like laying on the ground there, or is that just
I deduct 1 hit point.
okay?
It wasn't that bad, was it?
He's an old man. You gotta take it easy with him.
I'm also very small.
All right, Rengar, you just took this massive blow from a mace, and then Varys came up and bonked you with his mace to make you feel a little bit better. You're still go ahead and roll Fury to see, just like your Death Fury, just to see what's okay. So make an attack roll on Varys.
Jesus. Look up this roll. Look up his roll. Look up his roll. Look it up.
All right.
Yeah.
Now make your second attack roll on Varys.
He's gonna do 2 full attacks.
That's
Oh my god.
okay.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
Okay.
He fucks up so bad he actually makes Varys stronger.
Yeah, heals.
Yeah. He runs into this mace again and gets you. No, I'm joking. All right. Well, Rengar, after feeling this pain and seeing this what he mistook as an attack from Varys, he this fury overtakes him and he goes after him, but it also seems to be blinding, and Varys is like whoop 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 whoop, dodging it. All right, so the orcs are mostly in retreat. You've got this hulking Rengar to deal with. How do you guys want to handle this Rengar before he takes his next attack?
I'm going to try to. Let me see. I'm gonna try to use my performance to shake him from his situation here.
All right.
I'm gonna play his favorite song. It's "Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting," and Rengar was fast as lightning. In fact, it was quite a little bit frightening.
All right. I'm gonna say that he starts grooving with it, and you can see the fury start to fade in his eyes, and he kind of comes back to it, and he's ready to go.
Yeah, Rough Riders.
All right, so the sun has gone down below the crest of the mountains, so the town has gotten dark, and the orcs are able to kind of slink back into the respective like alleys and whatnot, whatever's nearby. You can still hear several screams coming from throughout the city, just of people being attacked on their way out and possibly grabbed for snacks on the way back or to the ships. So, the king looks pleased up on the wall, but he also it's with a heavy heart, you know, as he looks at the city that he helped build from the ground up and just burning before him. The armor that he's wearing, it's been over a century since he last wore it, at least into a battle, and it's feeling real heavy compared to what it should. But His royal guard continues this organized push outward to kind of drive them further back. And I'm going to take you guys to a city view.
Well, hold on. Can I do something before we leave?
Yes.
I'm taking Dutton Gore's head and I'm gonna wear it around my neck.
Jeez. So
Can I do
this manticore head you have is huge.
It's on my head though. It's like a hood. Like it's like a headdress. Like it's on my shoulders and my head, like over top.
Okay.
So I want to hang his head. Okay, fine. How about I hang it off my belt? I just
Okay.
want it to be on my person
So
when I walk around.
I'm cool with you cutting off his head and taking it. I just think, with the giant chattering snake skull that you have, and the manticore head, and Dutton Gore's
It's like
head.
Flavor Flav.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm saying it might get to a point where you might want to have like a little cart or rickshaw or something that you pull around full of all these heads.
Rickshaw.
Yeah, turn the manticore head into a rickshaw.
Here's the thing, though. We decided that my snake chatter skull only weighed like one amount of weight, whatever that is. So
A pound?
Here, I don't know. I just have one next to it. Now, here's the thing. I will give up my snake chatter skull if I can take his. If that's the difference between me being able to take Dutton Gore's
No,
head.
you can
So I
take his
think
head.
that-
I got no problem with it. I'm just saying, moving forward, if you continue to collect heads like this, you're probably
just
going
gonna lay
to
on the
need
ground.
some sort of.
Dan, do you have a shield?
Yeah.
I do, but here's the
Could
thing.
you put like a head on the shield? Like have that on the front of it or something?
I only need Dutton Gore's head while we're in battle with these orcs. I'm going to use it to demoralize them when we go into combat. I'm going to
Okay.
use it to intimidate them. Like, here's the head of one of your generals.
Okay.
And hey, guess how he died? Of internal wounds. Like a
Could you
bitch.
stick it on your penis?
Okay.
No, I'm
Come
not gonna do that.
on. Okay.
That's not the sort of family-friendly program we're running here.
Yeah. So family friendly. All right. So.
What happened?
So Dandy's running throughout the city. You guys were just fighting at this inner wall. He's running throughout the city, carrying Dutton Gore's skull. Roll an intimidation check.
Sure.
All right, the blood's still kind of pouring out. He's like shoves it in anyone's face that's nearby. The occasional dwarf gets accosted with this orc head right in their face, but the fear continues to spread throughout the town as the orcs continue to drive out. Like as you're pushing, I'm assuming everybody's kind of moving together, pushing around town, or
Yep.
Okay, so everyone's kind of
Yep.
following this beacon of a head, and as you make your way back towards the dwarven sector, you can hear some wow. Roll perception.
Everybody.
Yeah, you're all moving together. Why not? All right, so this is back in the alley where you poisoned the city guard with the plague, or not in the alley, on the street where you poisoned the city guard with the plague, and you can see that it's been burning just from the catapult strikes that were coming in, and there's bodies laying all around, but you catch on that there's probably orcs in this house to your character's right. It's the same house where Dandy shared a drink with the the
Oh no, that young man who wanted adventure.
the young man that wanted adventure and whose father was completely against outsiders and is trying who's been trying to make a push for the dwarves to give up on this project of creating Vaelario. So Vaelario was kind of the dwarves coming out and trying to create a safe haven for people of all races. You know, because like the elves and humans in the area, they wouldn't be attracted to go live in the caves in the mountains of the old dwarven city. So that was King Gunrig's like agenda, was to create this city so that it was like a safe haven. But there's a lot of the old dwarves who still think that was a wrong move and think that the dwarves should move back to the cave. Anyways, you guys want to go check out what's inside here?
Yes. I must rescue this family.
All right. So upon reaching the door, well, I guess, do you guys want to go in the front door or the back door?
Can we split it?
I always go in the back door.
All right. So the back door is down here where these
Bloody footprints are?
Yeah, exactly. That's where the orcs went in.
Can half of us go in the back and half of us go in the front?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'd like to go in this door.
Okay. So as you go in the door, you come face to face with a situation where it looks like Volrath, the oldest son, was eating a meal, and he got a quick strike from the back, and his head not quite severed, but it's laying on the table with this huge gaping wound across the back of his neck. Neftin, the middle son, it looks like he was just pushed straight into the fireplace and left there to burn. The orc is still kind of standing over him with some charred arm hairs and everything. Bryngolf and Almar are still alive, and they are being held. And as you enter, they kind of turn, and they have knives to their throats.
I'm going to from this door here. I'm very sad. I'm gonna try to intimidate these orcs with the head of their general.
Okay.
All the rolls I've been doing, I'm probably gonna fuck one up finally. That's not very good. I try to intimidate him with the skull, but and then I make out with it. I think that's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so they're a little like thrown off and like a little grossed out, but they're still holding true to their stance.
I can't believe the old make out with your dead general trick didn't work.
Next time.
I would like to cast a spell on this middle orc here.
All right.
So you're going to cast Hold Person.
I say you're electing to save Brynjolf instead of Almar. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Because there's a good chance if you do anything to one of them, the other one's gonna.
I want to throw some darts
like
at this.
It's probably better to save.
You think it's better to save Almar?
I mean, save whatever you want,
Wait.
man. Well,
Who's the old one and who's the younger one?
Brynjolf is the old one. He's the one who's very firm in his dwarven ways and doesn't care. He wants this city to. He wants to essentially leave this city and have all the dwarves go back to the caves and the mountains, to where they grew up. And Almar is more. He's friendly to outsiders. He doesn't really agree with his father. He kind of wants to get out and see the world and do stuff.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Jesus.
What is
Well-
there to think about?
Well, I could. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll try it on this guy.
Okay.
He has to do a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, here we
I
go.
think, right? Maybe they'll both die.
I'm pretty sure that's a fail. All right, so he's poisoned, and the other orc sees this spell's casting, and he slits Brynjolf's throat. You can hear the cries of Almar. He's like, no, and he kind of turns to he turns around to this orc that is paralyzed, and he jumps on him and just starts pummeling him in the face until his hands are bloody and broken, and this orc's face just concaves into like this bloody mat onto the floor. Bits of bone
And then the guy,
everything.
the one that killed Brynjolf, I'm gonna improvise ballistic weapon him with his general's head.
Okay,
I'm throwing it at him. That's what I mean.
that's fine.
What is that? Is that a strength check, basically? Is that what I need to do for that?
It'd probably be a dexterity check since it's an attack, but you're not going to get your proficiency bonus as you're not attuned to wielding, or you're not proficient with heads as weapons. Yeah, I mean, at this rate, you very well could be in the near future, but
Come on, son.
come
All
on,
right,
Sid.
let's try this. That was bad. I feel like.
All right. So Renga and Mim, you still haven't really done anything yet. So
I want to throw darts at this one.
all right.
Oh my god!
I'll say
shit
I'll say the
train
first one's a
keeps
hit.
rolling.
I'll say the first one's a hit. Yeah, that's some rough rolls for you there. You got a damage roll on that? I'm not sure what it is. D6 maybe? D6 plus something? Alright.
Oh my god!
So you hit him in the
Nice.
hand with this dart, and he's like, ugh. Ugh. Alright, Mim, what do you got for these? There's two orcs left. This one kind of turns around
I
after.
might just go into the distraction tactics.
You guys.
Start running on chairs.
Oh.
Oops, did it twice.
Well, the first one's a
First
hit
one.
for sure.
First one.
Oops.
It's a hit.
Yeah. Definitely. What?
I was about to.
Which one do you want to re-roll? You want to roll the 3 ones or the 2?
This one.
48 and you got 5. That's amazing.
3,
It's actually pretty good if he's rolling Yahtzee. I mean,
Okay.
so 18.
All right. So even though he's standing right in front of a fireplace, he just instantly turns like ice like in front of him, and as the fire kind of burns behind him, it melts, and as it melts his body too. So he just slowly dissolves into this puddle onto the floor. I mean, he's still part ice cube if you want to like run up and like shatter him, but I mean like it's starting to melt from the top.
push him.
All right. So this guy is gonna make. He's gonna make an attack on Almar. Let's see, he has advantage. Almar's pretty cool. Okay, I'm gonna say Almar gets hit. All right, so Almar, as he's pummeling like this bloody pulp into the ground, he takes a blade into the side. But he's not. He reaches and keels over, and the orc pulls the blade out. So Almar's in pretty rough shape, but he's still kicking. What do you guys want to do? This orc that just punished Brynjolf, stabbed Almar, essentially murdered this entire family.
I would like to attempt to end him.
All right.
I want to attack with my thing too, if I can get up in there.
Actually,
Maybe
Renga, roll a Death Fury because of Brynjolf. I forgot about that. See how your rage. All right, that's pretty good. Yeah, so you'll still be able to. You'll be able to attack. You won't be able to do crazy stuff, or stuff besides attack. All right, Dandy, what are you going to do?
I'm going to attack with my umbrella that's not an umbrella.
All right.
I roll it at an advantage. Right? Do I roll it at an advantage or do I add to it?
Roll advantage. Roll with advantage. I think you're the only one who that pops up at 4. I'll have to fix that. Yeah, that's a hit.
Then I click on the damage.
All right, so it's not a killing blow, but it wasn't an umbrella. Is that what you were coming at him with?
Yeah, it's always a parasol or a cane. This time it's an umbrella.
Does it have like spirals on it or anything? Do you like kind of twirl it in front of him and fake him out?
Yeah, I do a penguin thing. I go.
All right, so this the rapier that Dandy has, it is fed on his disguise self, so he brings it into battle as a disguise. So it gives him advantage on his first attack. So as he comes in, the parasol he seems kind of wowed by it, and then you thrust it, and it sheds its parasol illusion, and the rapier goes, and you stab him, but he's not quite finished. Renga, how do you want to end this dude?
Yeah, brass knuckles to the face.
Nuts on nuts.
Well, he's pretty well. Whatever. I'm gonna say you can just end him because he's injured. His friends are all dead. He knows he's going down. Just describe that. Just describe it.
Let's ask him if he wants repentance. We should give him a second chance.
Yeah,
he's already dead.
Second
so good
chance.
luck asking a dead orc.
You want to describe the punch?
Just gonna give him a hammer fist right to the side of the head.
Oh, from the side.
Burst his eardrum.
Yep. He's done. All right. Almar's bleeding out. Varys.
Somebody heal him.
I can try to. Hang on, I gotta go back to my other page here.
Heal us.
I mean, you could leave it to Mim to do his medicine checks because he's pretty well known for saving people's lives at this point.
Check. Oh, Mim, try your medicine check.
Don't you have any more? Are you all out of spells?
Well, I don't. I mean, I can just. If he's still alive, I can stabilize him.
All right.
There, see?
Yeah, Mim's like, get out of here, healer. Let me go in and patch this dude up.
Oh, wait. Aren't all the orcs pretty much fucking dead? I thought we killed them all.
Yeah.
No, we're going house to house, dude. House to house combat.
Yeah, I mean, all the orcs in this house are dead. Sorry, I didn't put the red X's on them. Bleh.
Yeah, who fucking cares? What's
That.
the hurry?
Almar's
Why
gonna
waste a
bleed
spell on
out.
Almar?
Almar's gonna die, dude.
He got stabbed in the side with his scimitar-looking thing.
It's Almar's fault.
Oh my god. Thank you. Almar looks you straight in the eyes, Mim, and he says, thank you. I wish you could have saved my father, but I appreciate that you saved me. His voice changes because of all the excitement and the fact that he got stabbed. And
What did he say?
he said thanks to Mim for saving him.
Okay.
So he explains it as soon as he can, as soon as he's able. He's gonna report to the king. He's gonna report to the king on his father's behalf and talk to him about the future of Vaelario. The Dwarven sector has a very high balls. There's a word, whatever. Held in very high regards with the king. So Almar, speaking on his father's behalf, should carry some weight. So we'll have to see how your guys' choice pans out.
Oh no! Did we just make a choice that's gonna affect our ending?
Not so much your ending, so much as the future of Vaelario. You know, very similar to the idea of how you took Charles back and decided to put him in his drugged out psychedelic state and his crazy
we made
wife.
a triumvirate in that town.
Yeah, you made them leaders of the town when that was just going to be a disaster. But who knows? Maybe it turned out just fine.
Excuse me. They're a triumvirate with Grand Moff Doyle.
I thought he was just the head architect. I thought that was what we decided on.
In my mind, he's still in charge.
All right. So, there's the night is fallen. The city's burning. The Royal Guard's still kind of pushing around, trying to save the few stragglers that weren't able to run back into the inner wall. But it seems as though everyone's gonna stay inside the inner wall for the night, and then they'll try and purge the rest of the town of Orc in the morning, and hopefully it hasn't all burnt to the ground by that time. Do you guys want to influence this line of the town's agenda and the city guard's agenda? You want to go to the king, see if there's a reward?
I suppose that is what the Rough Riders would do.
Yes, we should go to the king and
Take some type
like,
of
what up?
compensation for our troubles.
Some ladies
Oh.
of the night.
And
Jesus.
Dwarf ladies of the night.
and we can we finally talked to him about opening up trade with Poland. That was what we wanted to talk to him about way back when we first got this.
Yeah.
Chancellor Doyle? Or
Grand
Moff
Moff.
Doyle. And we didn't let's just make one thing clear. We didn't make that witch lady in charge of that town. We couldn't do anything about it. She's a very powerful witch lady.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that's kind of how the town was left.
I don't like your accusatory tone.
Hey, this is your guys' story as much as it is mine, so it's your fault if things. Okay. Mim, roll a persuasion. the king. You guys all enter, and the king turns and looks at you, and he has a flash of looking to the chair and seeing his wife, but the this gnome sitting beside him looks nothing of his wife, and he asks you to please move.
He's Tim. You gave the dude post like PTSD. What are you doing?
So not a great start to discussing your payment, but it's not a deal breaker.
I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna be like, "Hello, King. It is unfortunate that these circumstances are what finally got me an audience with you. I was trying to meet with you a few days ago, or a week ago. It was a little bit ago. Whenever you're having a big dinner that one time."
So he stands, he looks at all of you, and he comes up and extends his arm for a handshake. Not one of like the standard handshake, the wrist grab ones,
Ooh, I want to do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a handshake. You have to roll strength so he knows I'm a man.
Roll a strength save.
Strength save? Ridiculous.
All right, so you meet his firm handshake with just his firm handshake, and you even feel his hand like you can tell that you're squeezing it a little too hard. I mean, but it's a tactic that tends to work against other world leaders. So I mean, works out. It works out well for you. So this firm handshake really means a lot to him. He's feeling a lot. He likes it.
All right, sweet. We're off to a good start.
Well, that's not how I'm supposed to use strength saves. Is that what you're saying?
What? You can do whatever you want. You're the DM. I'm gonna Well, do you guys want to shake his hand too? He's gonna do it real fast.
Can I just get a high five from this tin man over here?
Sure. I don't know. Try to roll for it, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead and roll persuasion or whatever you want.
Performance?
Sure. See if, oh yeah.
Yeah.
You
nice
wowed
high
him.
five.
You wowed him into the high five. You did like the whole like lead into it, and you're like, yeah.
And I did the boom afterwards.
Yeah. He gives you like a nod. He's like, yeah, right on.
All right, I'm gonna do. Do we have anything that's like? I don't really want to lie to the guy. I just want to try to.
Deceive him.
No, I just want to be like, we fought for your kingdom. Now, what? Now, what can you do for us? Like that kind of thing.
So you want to slyly get into pay me, essentially.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, may do this, like, but I'm. See, you guys can be interested in getting paid all day long. I'm still trying to open up trade with Polans. So now that we've helped your town out and smoked some orc bitches, maybe we could discuss the future of this town's relationship with the fine town of Polans.
All right. Oh, I don't think I have. Oh, I don't have Almar ready. All right. So you get into this discussion with the king about the future, and he's like shakes his head a little bit. He's like, I think it's going to be a long time before we'll be ready to trade again. But I mean, he's like, I'm willing to keep to trade with Poe Lance, but I mean, our city is kind of in ruins, and I'm half wondering if maybe we should go back to the mountains and the caves and just kind of do a new reset and say the city's lost. But just then,
Well,
Almar
okay.
comes in, kind of holding his side. He's like, my father perished because of this orc invasion, and we can't just go and hide because we're not feeling fit. We've got to stand strong, come together, all of us, not just the dwarves, but everyone. We need to rebuild this town. King Gunrig seemed to be on the fence about what to do, but it seems to he's kind of shaking his head and nodding. He's like, okay, we'll start the rebuilding, and we have to focus on Vaelario first, and in order to do, but once that's done, then we can start doing some trade with this Grand Moff Doyle.
And also other towns, because I want to kind of do a little speech where I tell them, we've been all around this land, these shattered lands, and we've seen that every city has its struggles. And then I'm going to tell them about the drug use we see in the one town and the monsters in the
Tuba
ground.
Judy.
Tuba Judy.
Tuba
The
Judy.
monsters in the ground at Monster Town.
Rakasha.
And Rakashak. And how Poe Lance was dominated by bandits who stole everything. But one town at a time, if we work together, we can reclaim the shattered world and rebuild.
He's like, well, I mean, and he kind of turns to you, Varys, and he's like, my first order of business is trying to get this plague under wraps. I kind of hear this rumor that you know how these people can be healed, and you're the only one who can give us the special waters that we need.
This is true, and I will give them to you with the blessing of Eldith.
Yeah, and so with the volcano that you guys that you purified with Eldith and turned into like this mountain grove of her healing waters and statues and whatnot, like you can explain to him that this place exists, but you also explain that you have to pray and then cross the correct bridge in order to gain access. And so he asks if you would be willing to lead this pilgrimage of sorts to all the people who have been infected with the plague, which the numbers seem to be increasing a little bit because after they all kind of the king allowed everyone into the inner wall because it wasn't just about, it was about saving everybody since he knew that a cure existed. So would you be willing to do this?
Absolutely, it would be my pleasure.
All right.
Of course, this is going to take time and resources for us to do this, and afterwards we still need to continue our journey to other towns. So if you might be able to help us once we've completed this journey, anything you can do for us would be appreciated, because we've been
Kevin,
fighting on the road.
Were you thinking this is kind of like an actual quest, or just like I go off?
This is a wrap up.
Prep stuff. Okay.
This is kind of like what you'll be doing, and you can describe it as much as you want. So the king hears you, Dandy, and he's like, well, I've been offering rewards to anyone who, any of the guilds and factions in the city who will build boats and venture forth and come back with information of new lands. It sounds like what you want to accomplish is very much in line with what my thinking was. I totally think that I can use my clout to sway guilds to either allow you to join their ship or possibly even commandeer it. So let me know. Like, go ahead and look around and tell me what you think about the different guilds and what sort of ships that they've been building, and come back with your input, and I'll see what I can do as far as getting you on.
Thank you, King. And on behalf of our small guild of the Rough Riders, we thank you. We're a guild now.
So if
Do we have
you're a
to-
guild, that means that you can have your guild leader. Like if you're one of the more prominent guilds in the city, that means that you can have your guild leader come to sit at the table. That's this giant table off to the right, where all the guild leaders come and do it's like a bi-weekly meeting and talk about their concerns with the town. So you guys could also just stay and hang out with city council and.
Oh, that'd be fun. We don't have to fight. We don't have to fight anymore, guys. We can just stay and live our lives.
Or we can appoint that. We could ask that dwarf young man if he wants to be our guild leader, and he can just be our voice in the town.
Almar.
Okay.
Almar, yeah.
Well, he might also be able to take his father's spot, but he could.
What
he could
about
try
my
and-
homie Tin Man here?
That guy's cool.
He's
This
kind
guy?
of a. This is the personal guard of the king.
He's sweet.
They have hit bars. They have.
He has a massive hit bar. That's why I'm wondering.
Well, that's because his
Someone
image
trying to
was
fight
small.
someone? 'Cause I'm not having
No,
that.
no. So I give them hit bars because I'm never quite sure who you guys are going to attack. You know,
He
like
might fight.
oh, we're going to meet the king. Like, well, okay, well they might kill him. You know,
Attack them.
Well, what's the king's health bar?
man.
We're not going.
I'm just fucking with you.
Okay.
Maybe I'll hang around this. Maybe we should hang around the town, and I should get the king to adopt me as his son, and then we'll have him killed, and then I'll be king of this town.
Hey, I'm gonna go lead this pilgrimage right away because I don't want any more people to die.
Okay.
I'm gonna start scoping out some guilds and seeing what's up. See if there's any guilds that want to join forces with the best guild ever.
Hey, Dandy,
Huh?
can you think of some like hazing things we can do for them to join the guild? Like, what are some Rough Rider things that do they have to like?
They have to bark
Ride-
and get a good bark.
Yeah, they have to ride around on something. Maybe they have to ride a dog through town while barking.
we have to do a drive-by to kill somebody.
We have to follow the
Drive
treasure
by.
map. Go dig up that treasure and bring it back here.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. That's the test.
The treasure that you buried weeks ago on the island of Polance. All right. I'll probably buy you enough time to custom your ship. All right, so there's I have a couple of just random guilds that I tossed out, like created. You've come across quite a few of them already. But there were several that were pretty strong ties to the town, so they wouldn't really be ones that would be leaving. But there's the devotees that came back after like this battle is over. They come strolling back into town. They were the ones that had that little girl, Emily, I think. Yeah. There's no more Bootlicker's Bane anymore. But there's the one, the devotees had that girl Emily, who they had that sing-song summoning, and she summons the Procbrish Rawl, who is this demony guy, or demony like possession of her that told them they had to get out of the town. They were the devotees, but I mean, if you want to recruit them, I mean.
What was the group that burned alive?
That was Bootlicker's Bane. That was they were meant to be the emo kids from South Park, essentially.
And we did what everyone wanted to do to those kids.
Oh,
But I mean, there's a couple of guilds out there that they're gung ho for exploring, gung ho for living off like different types of lands. So like you've got guilds that just want to. I have the forever foragers who just want to live off the land and reduce their carbon footprint. And
Oh, I like them.
and then there's the endless explorers that just want to constantly push out. But I mean, these are all just factions that you can go and interview and recruit people for your own. Then you can come up with laws and bylaws. I don't know, Schnard, you might have to do all the Rough Rider guild setup business.
They will be called. Hold on.
But there was also
The Rough
those.
Riders rules for life.
The four R's.
The four R's. Rough Riders rules for life.
For real
Actually,
life.
I'm sorry,
It's
I
real
apologize.
life.
I
It's real
apologize.
life.
I really apologize. I missed this. I missed this. Obviously, it's four for the 4 R's. Rough rules for life.
Okay.
So
Sounds good. Oh, there was also those the Admirers of Imagination, who was the artistic group that when you came to town, I think they were unimpressed because of a bad role, but they were more the artists of the group, and you could at least talk them into designing your sails or something once you decide what sort of.
Some guy tried to show him a boar or something that someone made.
Yeah.
Oops. It wasn't so nice.
Well, maybe they could teach us some things.
we gotta get a ship though. We won't be able
Some
to afford
manners.
So
I thought they said they were gonna like steal us.
yeah, so they've been building ships because the king has been working on this, the rewarding guilds and factions for going out and exploring. But I mean, it's still pretty recent, so not too many have really ventured out. So essentially, you have to choose whether you want to a sloop style or perhaps a galleon style ship, and maybe. The idea would be if you chose like the more of like the sloop, then you'd be able to man it pretty much by yourselves. But you might have like one other person as like a navigator to kind of help you sail, and maybe Tamira will come along.
Well,
But if you
then
choose,
I think
the other option is if you go with a galleon, then you can recruit. You can recruit one of these factions, or at least some of their members, to come along with you. So, for instance, you could choose the Torquil's dwarves that betrayed him, the dwarves that have no beards. You could choose those guys, or you could choose like the artists so they could come and paint beautiful pictures and illustrate Mim's books.
Oh, we could go town to town selling things. That'd be cool.
I think we should get a galleon, obviously, and we should recruit more people to be on the Rough Riders crew.
Party boat.
The
Party
Rough
boat.
Riders.
I agree. I second that motion.
All right, so Renga, I'm gonna have you do the most important dice roll of your life. Now, if you want to get some guidance from Mim, or not from Mim, from Varys before, like catch him before he goes off on his pilgrimage, and maybe some bardic inspiration from Dandy, because we're gonna come up with we're coming up on the most important role of your life. All right, now Dandy. So as far as the type of song, we need something that's related to wood carving.
I know what he's doing. I'm gonna do.
Wait, do I have to give up a board because I have a perfect one?
No. This is totally different.
Okay.
I don't really know any songs related to wood carving, but a good song to work to is probably Uh, he's
A
here
lumberjack.
about cutting stuff. He's hacking it, whacking it, slashing it. He's hacking it, whacking it, slashing it.
That's
Hacking
good.
it, whacking it, slashing it. Hack, slash, chop that meat or wood in this case.
You touch one like creature. Roll a D4. All right. So first off, roll a D4, Rengar. All right. Now, I'm probably gonna call this like a. I think when you're wood carving, it should probably be a dexterity check. Just it's in the same lines as along the same lines as like sleight of hand and that sort of thing. Is like how well like dexterous your fingers and whatnot are. So we're gonna go ahead and do a dexterity check. Now this is for carving. Oh, what's the word? What's the front
Figurehead.
Figurehead. This is for carving the figurehead for
Of the boat?
The boat.
Oh shit.
At least we have to spend
All
70,000 gold on it.
I hope I get a nat 20 and I can say what it is.
All right.
That's not bad.
All right.
I mean,
With a
Add
7
your-
onto it, 22. All right. So my first inclination was to kind of say what you carved, but we're probably on the same page as far as what you're thinking.
Probably not.
Oh. Okay. Well, my thought was on the front of your boat, whether it's the galleon or the sloop, is this magnificent figurehead of this boar coming out of the front of the boat with the tusks, the snout, the whole 9 yards, just everything. And you could come up with like maybe he's got his like hooves forward, like he's he could be like the flying boar is what you could call your ship, or like you got him back, and But my first thoughts was that you would carve this magnificent figurehead on the front of the boat of a boar.
I like that.
All right. It's kind of a shout out to Rengar's backstory of the way of the boar. Like when he was in the monastery, they had him choose an animal to kind of as like a spirit animal, if you will, and tells them to where they should go, when they should slide, and all that. But all right, so Rengar's gonna be working on this figurehead for a couple days, but it's turning out well.
Can I suggest a name for the boat?
Sure.
How about the Piggly Wiggly, since it's going to be a boar's head?
Yeah, or we can make it something cool like Razorback.
Yeah,
which
what
is
the
also
fuck?
okay.
How's that cool? I like the SS
It
Piggly
starts with an
Wiggly.
R. It keeps with the Rough Riders rules for life.
Where did that...
The Rough Riders and the Razorback.
Why couldn't it have just been Rough Rider rules, then the 3 R's?
Because it's
There's
for
four
life.
of us.
It's for your life, and there's 4 of us. And the number 4. It can't be Rough Riders Rules 3.
And the number 4 has an R in it.
Boom.
How about the
Science.
SS Georgie?
Oh, the SS Georgie.
Well, we do float for sure.
Can we call it Babe?
Wilbur.
Babe or I like
Wilbur.
Or what is this saying? One fine pig or something like that.
Fine swine, wish you were mine. He's Zuckerman's famous pig. Suey, what'll it be? It's Zuckerman's famous pig. Oh, it's fine swine, wish you were mine. So what if he's not so big?
What?
It's from that stupid Charlotte's Web shit.
Oh my gosh.
So the boat has a predetermined name, and it's just going to be called Bodie.
I mean,
What?
if you guys can't come together on a name, then you guys can all just put up your votes and roll persuasion checks to see who comes out on top.
All right.
Wait, I'm okay with the Razorback.
Okay, I mean you can back up his roll. Give him
Sounds like you
advantage.
got 2 votes for Razorback. I don't know.
All right, so the other thing is you can go and talk with the the admirers of imagination and see how you want your sails designed. You know, what you want on the sails. So if you get a name, then that might help guide what you want on the sails.
Yeah, that's
You
Is
just,
that what SS stands for?
yeah, Sailing Swine Georgie. So you could just do like maybe it's like a picture of a real simple like sailboat, and then there's like a pig hanging out the front of it.
well. We should have them design a cool logo for us to put on the sails.
The logo is definitely going to be the pig from the Geico commercial.
The creepy looking
Oh,
one.
The one that says "We" all the way home.
Oh, it should just be the sail should just have Porky Pig like at the end of Looney Tunes coming out, and it says, "That's all, folks."
I'm cool with that.
Okay. Come. Make sure this is a concrete decision, because I have a friend out here who's an artist, and I'm gonna ask him to draw this boat whenever you guys.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I 100% want the Porky Pig. That's all, folks. Sales.
Technically, I'm not even here. I'm on my journey, so I won't.
I honestly, I will give up Razorback, and you guys can call the ship whatever the fuck you want. If we do Porky Pig sales.
All right, deal. SS Georgie.
It's the Sailing Swine, Georgie.
There you go. I'm cool with that.
All right, whatever.
All right.
Yeah, as long as I get my Porky Pig sales.
Porky Pig sales. And on
Should we
this,
have
I picked the hill I wanted to die on, and I did. I died on it.
Should he have an eye patch too? The Porky Pig, like wearing an eye patch.
No, he's just a pig telling us the show's over. But he's not a pirate.
Well, if he's on a ship.
No, he isn't on the ship. His image is. He's
it's
in
a
Looney
sail.
Tunes world.
It's a sail.
I don't think Warner Bros. Would appreciate you just going and taking their character and making something weird happen with him.
Like putting him on a D&D ship.
Okay, get out of here. Call me shit.
I mean, it's
Rule
all
34
just a
stuff.
guide.
Wait.
It's not exactly, like any names or likenesses that relate to
What if we
actual
call it
actors.
the Squealer.
The Squealer. I like that.
It's not Porky Pig. It's Sven Swine.
The squealing swine, Georgie.
Squealing Swine, Georgie. All right, and I also, guys, I don't know how you guys are feeling about the size of the ship. I think we should go for a galleon and get a crew, because if we have a crew, that means red shirts.
All right. So the one thing I will say, if you go with the galleon, it's going to be harder for you to navigate near the center of the map. Here, let me go to. Do I have a world map? I guess I don't. I don't know. You guys have all seen the map, and the idea is that near the center, it's a lot more broken and shattered. So there's a lot more rocks and things to navigate around. So your galleon would be a lot better about sailing around the outside of the.
On the outside.
Yeah, around the outside.
Around the outside.
But and you will be able to venture forth, but it's gonna be it's just gonna be a little bit more difficult. Plus, you're gonna have to keep in mind that you're gonna have to be feeding these people, like they might be able to fend for themselves a little bit, but you're gonna have to be coming across places and trading for goods and stocking up on the ship whenever you can, which is not a problem. It's just
That's what Grand Moff Doyle's for.
go back to him all the time.
Yep.
Grand Moff Doyle rules.
That should be the name of the ship.
No.
All right, do you want a color scheme for the hull or anything? What other kind of just Shnard, what other kind of stuff do we describe? Can we customize?
Blood.
Well, you got the sails. You got the figurehead.
Do we have quarters for ourselves? Do we have our own bedrooms on the ship?
If you go with a galleon, you're going to have plenty of room for quarters below deck. If you go with the sloop, it's going to be a little bit more like camping below deck.
Oh, then we gotta get the galleon.
You got a galleon.
All right. So we'll go with the galleon. All right.
Time to recruit. Recruitment. Whoop whoop. Yooba-doo-doo. Yooba-doo. Yooba-doo-doo.
All right. So, Ragai, go ahead and roll a religion check with advantage to see how many you're swaying away from there.
Not many.
No, that's pretty good. I mean, you're talking about people who, like,
Or war dwarves.
they say no and don't worship Eldith, like they don't get healed. So you're back at the volcano at the bridge, and you're guiding them to pray at the altar and cross the bridge of water and make sure that none of them cross the other bridges. And so you're starting to build this following of Eldath, because I mean you have this perfectly designed shrine in the middle of this volcano that's just great for setting this up. And like they'll have to return on a pretty daily basis. You set it up with Hallgra, so she can practice like the medicine there, so they can go and get their treatment as they worship your goddess. And you're really it's a great first step for rebuilding Eldith's following after your past of your grove dedicated to Eldith perishing to the orcs, and you are the sole survivor. So, well, that you know of.
Yay!
Da, da, da.
All right. So, as far as so you have Tamira, Dandy. She's given up her orcish ways. She's given up the blade. She's been inspired by your music and whatnot to try and pursue a more civilized life and get out of this life of the assassin that she was essentially brought up for. So you want to just like send her on her way, give her the boot, abandon her like she abandoned the orcs, or you gonna plan on her being on the ship?
I'm gonna offer her a place on the ship if she chooses it, and I'm gonna offer her either my drum or my lute if she'd like to start learning a new way, a new art.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, the drum would be a better starting point, but I mean, it's
All right, I'll offer her my drum and say, you can come on the ship with us, and you can practice with this drum, so you can start to feel the music yourself. But that's up to you,
all right.
because it's Dad's way to make you do something. It's Mom's way to let you choose.
Okay, right on. Let's see. So as far as so it's gonna take a while for Pig to set up, get this perfect figurehead, to get the sails just how you want them. What are you going for as far as recruiting for your ship? Do you want to do it by race, do it by guild, do it by whoever wins this ride the dog around the town competition?
Is it dog?
I don't know. I didn't read the Rough Riders rules for Rife handbook, so I'm not quite sure.
That's for life.
For Rife.
For life. Right, Fraggy. Yikes. Yikes. All right. Well, I think that what we should do is start with people who might know us. So yeah, maybe I'll approach some of those dudes that were friends with that one dwarf guy. but
Omar?
whatever.
All right, so you want the bald bearded dwarfs, is what you're thinking.
Yeah, that's
I
what
feel
we
like they might be the weakest willed and
I
most
mean,
willing to join
that's
us.
great fodder, you know. They don't, them in particular don't know too much about sailing, but you could probably give them a crash course from someone in during this time.
All right. Well, then I will also go to recruit from other guilds as well, and not just them. Unless we filled up our ship with one stop. I don't know.
It's
I
up to
felt
you.
like
It's up to
Hey,
you. I mean,
hey.
it's you can fit quite a few people on this ship, but it's really up to you who you want to spend essentially, the rest of the campaign with.
I want to ask some of the explorers too. Like there's a couple you mentioned that were explorer oriented,
Yeah.
and I want to ask from those guilds to see if any of them are willing to. Like I'll kind of preface my thing with, you know, whenever like my focus is more about finding adventure and uh, particularly profitable adventure, where your guys it seems to be adventure for adventure's sake. But just like how groups of people came together to fight for the city, groups of people can come together to go on adventures for different reasons. So I'm gonna try to get them to join us
Okay. So
with a
uh,
rousing speech
as
about
far as the,
adventure.
the one guild that I was talking about, they're focused on foraging. It might be useful for you getting a chef, maybe having a hunter that will kind of when you make
And probably a
landfall.
scout.
Yeah, just so these are the kinds of positions that you're looking to fill. Someone who.
All right, I'll go to the foragers as well.
So, so I guess what other positions do you want to fill? Because I'm thinking you got your chef. So you got him from the foragers because that's he's more about making stuff work. And
We should probably get like an entertainer for the crew so they don't go crazy.
Excuse me.
Yeah, like somebody
somebody
that can like somebody that can like sing,
I mean, we got
Or
Tamira on the drum. You could probably.
Okay, that's true. That's true. She
But,
probably has some.
I mean, you could go for another a trade as well. It's just you're weighing mouths to feed versus a permanent home for these people. Like you gotta make it realistic and fun for everybody, but also it's more mouths to feed and.
We need to get a guy that can fish, so can feed people.
we got foragers for when we make landfall now, and probably one of the foragers is probably a pretty good steward, so that probably works. I'd say one of the adventurers might make a good quartermaster.
Okay. I mean, there's also there was a guild called the Unbroken, and they were like essentially the shield masters of the city. They were, I wasn't like their guild would be more one that would stay in the city, but like you might be able to recruit one of those guys too, because they they essentially dedicate their lives to the way of the shields. It's not really, if you got people jumping on your boat trying to drop your anchor and pillage your bananas, but I mean they might be able to defend against that and keep them off, as opposed to
I guess we could see if we can't get one from the way of the shield people. But I'd like to focus. Like the thing is, I feel like the adventurous ones, probably some of them already have specialties and things that we need.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe one shield guy wouldn't be terrible.
And I'm more just thinking about like a general trend. It seems like you want like a hunter gatherer boat as opposed to like
a warboat.
Yeah, as opposed to like a warboat or a traveling stage for everybody.
Well, I didn't think the adventurers were going to be the kind who are stage people. Are they all bards? I would have thought they were probably...
No. I'm saying they're more the hunter-gatherers. Like the warship would be more recruiting the best warriors.
I think we're pretty good fighters. I think maybe one shield guy to man the boat when we go ashore, so that'll probably be enough.
Okay. And you're happy with leaving Tamira on the drum when you guys make landfall, or do you want to have someone else, like a painter, to illustrate your books, Mim, or
No, screw those imagination guys.
Yeah, we don't need them right now.
I'm a little salty with them.
You can bring one with us, and you can kill him when we're at sea.
Yeah, we'll get one at a time. That sounds like a
No,
good
actually,
idea.
yeah, we'll do one at a time. Keep like what Tim always says to do with whenever we fight. Like we're one guy over. I think that honestly, I can't really justify having a member of the Imagination Guild with us in any way, unless someone can think of a reason we'd want them. Like we don't, if we wanted to have them paint something on our boat, we could just drive back here and have them do it.
it's true.
Like we really need to have them on our boat eating our bananas.
Is that the main dish we have on our boat? It's just bananas?
No.
It's a video game.
Yeah, the Sea of Thieves is kind of hip right now, so
Rotted your brain.
yeah.
So like, obviously influence this because the two boat options were the two boat options in that game.
Come on, I'm totally going off my own. I don't pull from
Idea?
other resources. This is a homebrew campaign, you know.
Sure. No idea exists in a vacuum.
Okay,
As Charles Dickens.
so it sounds like we got a pretty good idea for what the boats want to be. Now, gotta kind of figure out where you guys want to go on your next. Like, where's this ship going to sail? You've got the so Rengar kind of has the voices of Vivian the Mystic from Rakasha in his mind, talking about how if he ever wants to learn to conquer his fear and control it, he really has to go back to where it all began and face off against that which killed those who killed his parents, and essentially created the fury within him that has only been tried to control through the monastery. So
I don't think
that
we've
option.
done really. Have we done really any of Rengar's stuff yet?
No, I think we should do that.
That's what I was gonna say.
Because Varys, you're kind of your grove was destroyed, but you've already started this new beacon of Eldest followers in Vaelario, and so I mean you could go back to see if maybe anybody else survived at the grove. That's a possible thing to do. Dandy, Tamira seems ready to abandon the Yorks, so she's probably going to Dalturge to see your mother if she's still alive is a possibility, but taking her right back into the Orcish lands might be a bit of a risky. Mim, I have no idea what your character's thinking. You know that
If you want,
the Gnomish lands were at the center of this when when the world shattered, and you were there to, you've had the visions about this summoning ritual that you interrupted, and the only thing you have to go off of is where everyone believes there's nothing left from the world shaking is where your story began. But the island that Rengar is from, I guess you can't quite see it on this map. So it's northeast of Polance.
where those trees are.
No, that island is where the his monastery was. The city that he, it would be further. It would be further north. Oh, you're bringing me snacks? Where are you at? Oh my goodness. So that would be a venture to the northeast. Oh, come in. Oh, you're not coming? Oh. Okay. We're good. So that'll
That's
be
my
that's all right. So we'll venture back to so you'll finish getting your ship designed, and you'll start on an adventure towards Rengar's beginnings.
Ooh, that's a good title for it.
Yeah, that'll our
Rengar?
next session, Rengar's beginnings.
Beginnings.
How about we call it Rengar's Creed Origins? Oh, that's a really good name.
I mean, I haven't been naming our sessions.
Well, it's going to starting next session.
Okay, maybe I'll come up with
Wait,
a title page for that.
Rengar's beginnings makes sense because of my Batman background.
Rengar begins. Or here's the
Rengar
thing.
begins.
Rengar begins. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. There's Arkham Asylum. Then there was Arkham City. Then there was what?
Okay, Arkham Asylum is definitely that crazy
Arkham
lady
Origins.
who gave you
Origins
that
twice.
tattoo.
Okay.
Origins twice. Origins twice. You got Origins twice.
All right.
Origins.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this session a little bit early. We wrapped up Vaelario nicely, and we had to establish all this stuff before venturing forth. I wasn't sure. Whatever. So next time we'll pick up on Rengar Begins and see what created the beast. It's his backstory. I gotta go with what he says.
Fine. That'll give me some time to come up with Rough Riders rules for life.
Yeah. Come up with those rules, and then we'll be able to properly establish this guild. But,
Post them up there.
Are there only
Yes,
4 rules?
If we end at a logical point instead of in the middle of combat again, like we have the last 2 times.
I feel like
if you want, we can fight somebody real quick, and then.
No, we don't need to fight anyone. I just thought it was funny we ended in the middle of combat. It's hilarious to me.
I want to.
I'm
fight
I'm
Dave.
looking out for you guys. I mean, the 3 time zone difference is not ideal.
As you can tell by how we all have the same weather, you do not have the weather.
Yeah.
You have like a mountain range between us.
And the sun hasn't really set yet. I mean, it has, but it's still light out. Anyways. Thanks for stopping by. Rengar Begins next time on the Shattered Isles.